So this evening, which this is Saturday evening, my favourite evening, see my glass of wine in the background there, I'm going to do some sous vide cooking. We start off with this Andrew James vacuum pack sealer. I'll be sous vide cooking some duck breasts. I'll be taking the skin off them first. I've also got some large mushrooms, which I'll also be putting in some packs. Some garlic in the background there. I'm just going to roast them. And all this is going to be part of a baguette or a panino. Not a panini, because panini is the plural word, as you all know. So the first thing to do is to prepare the duck. So I'm going to start with a chopping board. I want it to be non-stick, so I'm going to put a non-stick jelly pad down, and this is made by Dycem, D-Y-C-E-M. It's still available, you can buy these. I've had this about 30 odd years. So that's going to go on there for non-stick purposes. Just going to get some knives. Probably one of the favourite knives I'm going to use is this Zelite knife, which is quite sharp. So just want to take some packaging. Now what I'm going to do is to take the skin off, because I'm going to cook that separately. So it's almost like a crisp, if you like, a pork rind crisp, or even a potato crisp. It's very nice, it's cooked very slowly. I'm going to straight that as well. So the first thing to do is to bring off the skin. Sometimes you can just strip off quite easily straight away. Sometimes, like this, the skin sticks. So once you've got so much, you can hold the breast down with a knife and just pull that. So we've got the one skin there. Let it trim all the excess away as well. And just for the sake of any potential cooks and chefs out there, whenever you're using a knife, always hold it, if you're chopping and cutting, that is, hold the knife with your left hand, as if you're right-handed. The knife goes in your right hand and you use a claw like effect. So if I was to cut this into slices, I'd put the knife there and I'd cut it, and I'd move back and see my fingers are acting as a guard. So the knife then, when you're chopping vegetables, which I'll show at a later stage, you're always protected by the two claws. Never put your fingers out flat. So let's just check, or rather take off the second. Now again, you can use a fillet knife. I got all different knives which I use. Just at the moment, this is your best friends, me and the Zelite. This is a Santoku knife. Retail probably about 100 to 125 quid, but it does last, and it has. I've had this now for several months, and I've not had to sharpen it at all. It's kept this edge, so off like this. So some of this flesh might come away with the skin, but try to keep that off, pull it off, that's good. So we got the two breasts. You might see that also I'm using a wooden chopping board. Don't believe all the bullshit you hear about having to use all different coloured boards. Yes, that's fine in a fast food environment where you need to keep an eye on the different colours. But if you're at home, which I am at the moment, as long as you keep separate boards, I've got separate chopping boards, wooden boards, some for raw, some for cooked, some for fish. What I will do once I've finished with this board is to cover it in dry salt, and then I'll put it in a plate on top of a cupboard or somewhere out of the way, and I'll leave it overnight. That'll absorb any moisture and kill any bacteria on the board, so that can be used again. But this is only going to be used for raw meat. So the other thing I'm going to put into the oven, I've got the oven reheated now to top whack. I'm going to do some roast garlic. Best way I do it, really. Again, you can use different sizes of garlic. It's quite a large bulb, a small bulb. But when you roast the garlic, the taste is totally different from raw garlic. It's got a sweetness almost. So I'm just going to take off about a third of the way down. Don't waste anything. This is a garlic roaster. It's upside down at the moment, but that's what it looks like when it goes in the oven. I'm just going to take off the top of that. Oops. And that. So that can go in the roasting pot. I'll then put the garlic bulbs, that is. I do absolutely love garlic. It's one of the allium families. This is Allium sativum. It's absolutely gorgeous in the raw state. When you use crushed garlic, it's good for all or most diseases, ailments, disorders. It's got very good antiseptic and bacterial qualities, including bacteria. Unfortunately, when you cook the garlic, it does lose a lot of its antibacterial qualities. So it's best to use it raw if you want to crush some garlic up and you want it for health purposes, rather than a cooked. But we're doing cooked, we're not too worried about its health properties at the moment. We're just looking for flavour. So I'm just going to give a blast of virgin olive oil onto the garlics, the salt. We also need to give a bit of pepper, which should have some really ground. A bit of sprinkle this one there. Something I like to do as well, to keep the moisture in, is to put half a lemon, put that in. I've also got a lime that's almost died. I've kept it too long in the fridge, but hey ho. Oh, there it goes on the floor. So you can tell it's well beyond its use by date, so just be careful. Cut that in a couple of fingers. So we put that in, put the two lines in. Again, it gives it additional flavour, gives it moisture. And just move that. The lid on top. And there we go, that's ready to go into the oven. So this is the vacuum pack machine. What it does, it takes out all the air out of a vacuum bag where the food is inserted, and seals it automatically, and then it's cooked in water at a specific temperature. So this is the first part of the operation. Now you can use, I've got these bags which I got off Amazon, so I'm going to use one bag for the two breasts, and I'm going to use 2 bags for the large mushrooms. The large mushrooms are jumbo mushrooms. You can use the portobello ones, they're similar. And I'm also going to put chilies in as well to slow cook those. So just put it to one side. Now the thing to remember, which I thought of myself through trial and error, is don't put any liquid in with the meat or whatever it happens to be. The main reason is because this will actually suck any liquids out of the pack, and it'll go to the part of the bag that's going to be sealed, and so it'll prevent a good seal, so it won't work. So I'm just going to put 2 breasts, keep that open. There. again, just get them. There's a single file, if you like. I don't want them on top of each other because it'll take too long to cook. So what you do then with this, I'll just turn it on. This machine, just move my line back, move this slightly back as well. Because you want a bit of work surface to rest the pack on like that. So let's just check that's okay. So you just put that in there. This goes down, clips tight, and this is when the magic happens. The one I'm going to use, you've got cancel, seal only, vacuum seal, cancel only. I'm putting this on vacuum and seal. So what it's doing now, it's actually sucking all the air, which you can probably see under the bag. And the machine actually knows then, and you can see it's going to seal only. It sort of senses when all the air has been taken out, and then it seals up. So I'll just remove that. Push there. So that's what we've got. We've got the two breasts in there now ready to cook. We've got a seal there, and this is a vacuum bag. So that's ready to be cooked. The next thing, I'm going to just do the mushrooms. Again, it's rather than letting mushrooms fry or bake in an oven, this seals all the flavour in, and it gives a perfect mushroom taste. I'm just going to take out the stalks. It's better without the stalks at the end of the day. I'll put them into the stock pot, which I've got cooking at the back. So again, just if I can move around in this very small kitchen, and you should be able to see there's my stock pot cooking. It's only a small one. I've got bigger stock pots, but at the moment I've got some mainly chicken in there, some old chicken stock, and I say old, a couple of days old. I've got some vegetables, some broccoli stalks and some carrots. That'll bubble away for a couple of hours, plus 2 or 3 hours. I'll turn it off, I'll strain that, and then I'll cool it down. It'll then go into a fridge covered, and then the fat will remain on top of the stock. The stock underneath then is great for making things like soups, gravies and jus, etc. Or just cooking anything really which needs a bit of flavour and a bit of moisture. Just going to take the skin off the top of the mushrooms. Again, the reason being it absorbs most of its own juices with the skin. The skin can be a bit leathery depending on the age. The skin again is not wasted, just going into the stock pot. That's what I tend to do with anything I'm cooking. There is no waste. The only waste material would be the plastic bags and the materials which I can't use. Everything else goes into a stock pot. I've had stock that started about 6 months ago, and then I'd continue to refresh it, recook it, reduce it. It's almost like making a sherry, if you like, where the original sherry is about 200 years old. So I've got the mushrooms there. I'm going to put these into the bag. I'm just going to put 2 in there. Again, try to keep them flat. Let's put that one out of the way. And up. And again. This is like a rubberized strip which seals everything. This is the sealing strip which seals the bag. This little spout here actually sucks the air out of the bag. So just that. You see? It will suck the air out. Very good. Look at that. Wow. almost like magic. And when it senses that all the air is gone, oh, now sometimes it doesn't always work. That could be because the top of the bag needs to be as flat as possible. Let's try that. There we go, looks like it's all sucking out of it. See what happens. Actually, you can see some juices running around inside. It's actually sucking the juices. And it's not into seal only. So you can see now it's sealing. That'll stop. Just press the two buttons and you can hear the air right there. And then we've got a perfect seal. So you can see now that that's being vacuum packed. There's nothing in there, no seasoning. I'll do the seasoning after I've cooked that. Now the last thing I'm going to do is put a mushroom in with some chilies. I know this I've never tried before, so first let's get those chilies in ready. Now just take off the tops of the chilies. So I've taken the tops of the chilies. Now I've actually not done this before, so this should be quite interesting to see how the chilies turn out. That's with the last mushroom. So again, we're doing the same procedure. Try to get the top of the bag as flat as I can. Press it down. Vacuum seal. Start working. Yes, he's sucking that out okay. That's being sucked out. There we go, the seal only lights come on, which tells me it's now sealing the bag. I'll take a few seconds and that's all done. So there's another one with a nice seal right across the top, and that's a vacuum inside there. So now we go to cook those in a sous vide cooker. So this is the sous vide cooker that I'm going to use. Quite straightforward. I've got a saucepan, got a large saucepan. Within the saucepan I've got a rack, if you like, which will hold the individual packs. And I've got the magic tool itself, which is the Albert Austin sous vide stick, which will keep and maintain the temperature of the water at the temperature that I require for as long as I want. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to turn that on. On this particular machine, it gives me the opportunity to set the temperature and to set the time. Now with the duck press and probably quite a lot of other meats, red meats in particular, I'm going to set it to 60 degrees C. I found with chicken breasts it works better if we do it at 57 degrees C. Now from a food safety point of view, if you take into account that all food safety bacteria, ones that cause food poisoning, die around about 54.5 degrees C, then even cooking at 56 is safe enough, because you're cooking at 56 over a period of time. I'm going to cook to 60, the duck breasts, and I'm going to cook them for about an hour. That gives time then for the temperature to go right to the core of the breasts. But as I'll show you at the end, when you open the packs and actually cut open the breasts, all the juices remain within the breast itself. There's none in the pack. And the best way to finish that off then, if you're using steaks, if you're using chicken breasts, if you're using duck breasts, once they are once you take them out of the pack, you can just finish them then on a hot top, on a flat top, or even in a frying pan, just to get a good bit of colour, because there's not going to be much colour that would look interesting It's going to be a bit of a dull sort of colour, but if you start browning the breast on either side, that'll give it a lovely colour. It'll give it some flavour because the sugars are being cooked, and it'll still be quite tender on the inside. So I'm just going to, before I set the timer up, I'm just going to put the vacuum packs into the sous vide cooker. This is the one with the 2 mushrooms. I'm just going to slip that into one of the slots. This is one which was the 1 mushroom, a couple of chilies. Let's see how that works out. I'll just put that next to it. The idea of this sort of rack inside the saucepan is to keep everything separate, so the water flows, the hot water flows between the packs of food. And the last one, and the main one I'm going to put in, will be the 2 duck breasts. So I'm just going to put them on this side. So what I need to make sure now is that water covers all the food. So I filled that with water. There's actually a line on the sous vide stick saying the maximum amount of water. Now the other little trick that I found out about as well is, obviously if you're cooking for extended periods of time, an hour and 2 hours, there's going to be some evaporation of the water, the level's going to go down, top part of the food might not get cooked. So you can use these, which are plastic balls, and they act, if you like, as a lid. It stops evaporation of the water when you're being cooked at the temperature that I need or want, and in this case it's going to be at 60 degrees C. So I'm just going to press one of these buttons, which is temperature. So I'm going to take that down to 60, which is there. And I'll put the timer on, which is going to be an hour. And that's it. It's not going to start cooking after the temperature has come to 60 degrees C. At the moment it's telling me it's 26.4 degrees C. It'll start timing once you get to 60, so it's going to give me an accurate 60 minutes cooking. So I'm just going to start that. There she goes. So what's happening now, that's heating up. There's a little propeller in the bottom of the stick which actually forces water around. So the heat is not just around this sort of outside part of the stick, it's all around the outside. So that's the sous vide. We'll come back to that when it's cooked. The other thing to mention, I can hear the roast garlic sizzling away. That usually takes at about 200 degrees C, which is probably about 450 degrees F. It'll take about 3/4 an hour, the amount of garlic that I showed you. And you can just take them out and let it cool off before you use them. And I'll just hand hold this recording. What I've got there is the 2 duck breasts, the skin that I took off, and the skin is, how would you put it, the part that was attached to the breast is underneath and the skin is on top, if that makes any sense. I've just put them into a frying pan. There's no oil, there's not going to be anything with it. I'm going to put some weights on top of that and I'm going to fry it slowly, probably about 35 to 40 minutes, could be an hour. It will then hopefully resemble crisps, which I'll take out, I'll drain. You'll have some nice duck fat there for cooking your roast potatoes, etc., or for just generally cooking. And the duck breasts, skins rather, I'll salt to make them nice and crispy and absolutely lush. So I've got the duck skins in the frying pan with the pattern side upwards and the part that was attached to the breast underneath. And I need to weight that down to keep it flat. So I we'll do, I'll get some baking paper first of all, and I want to make what we call a cartouche. So you can use greaseproof paper, you know, just to find I got some baking paper here, which means it's got a silicone coating either side to make it non-slip. I'll just turn off the fan, it's a bit noisy. So I fold that over into 4, and what I'll do then is, where that bit is there, you can see we're looking at the left hand side, fold it over. I'm going to then turn this into a cone, which I'll do like that. Keep on folding in half, keep on folding in half, so about that stage. And then I need to measure from the point of it there, the end, to the middle of the frying pan. And we're looking at where it ends, which is about there. So I'm going to mark that there, I'm going to actually cut it with scissors. So I'll just cut it across there. And that leaves us with a round, what we call in the trade is a cartouche. This is to, again, keep all the moisture in, all the fat, all the flavour in. Now these cartouches are great if you want to put on top of custard or other sauces or gravies to stop the skin foaming. So again, you can use greaseproof paper, you can use silicone or baking parchment. Now what I want to do now is to weight that down. I'm going to use a saucepan, and you would think, oh, that's quite heavy, that'll hold it down. I'm going to go one step further. One of my best friends in the kitchen is this monster, which is a pestle and mortar. It's made from granite. And I put that in there. Now that will keep it flat. So what I'm going to do is just going to turn on that. Hob. As usual, when taping, it's not working, so what to say? Just check if that's working. Okay. Don't put it back on. You mean muscles like Garth? That's okay, that's quite a high heat there. I don't want it that high, so I'm just going to turn it down. Or in fact, I'll wait till it to start to sizzle before I turn it down, and I'm going to swap it with my stock pot. So just stock pot off. Wait for it to start sizzling. It shouldn't be too long. And the fact it's sizzling as well, it starts to give or build up the heat, so we can end up with a nice brown, light brown colour as well. So you can start to see it's dancing around the edges, as they say, with fat. And you can hear that start to sizzle. So we're just building up that bit of heat. And I'm using it on one of the larger burners on my hob. I've also got a wok burner, but this one is one of the larger ones besides the wok burner. So once that's making a bit of a noise, turn it off, and then I'll transfer that over to the back heater, which is turned right down. So I'm going to leave that now for at least 25 to 30 minutes. So a bit of an update, we've got the chicken skins and extreme weight bubbling away in the saucepan. We've got our chicken stock bubbling away with very low heat, as low as I can get it. So I just want it ticking over to extract the maximum flavour. And the Sous Vide cooker, I don't know if that's, you can see that, but it's showing that it's hit the temperature of 60 degrees C, and there's 57 minutes left to go. And last but not least, we've got the roast garlic. Now, just took it out about 10-15 minutes ago. I'm leaving it rest. It is quite hot inside, so I'm not going to remove that yet. I'll probably have a look at that in about 30 minutes time. So 2 duck skins, I've taken them out of the frying pan, I've drained the oil, and the oil it's quite a bit really that was expressed. There it is. Be careful holding this glass, it's going to be quite hot. So you can see quite a bit of clear duck fat, which when it cools down a bit you can put in the fridge, cover it, refrigerate it, and use that then for all different things. I mentioned roast potatoes, gorgeous roast potatoes, roast vegetables, Mediterranean vegetables. Use it for frying any number of things, food, duck. I'll probably use some of that then to fry off the sous vide cooked duck breasts. So yeah, all in all it's quite a good extrusion, if you like, from the duck skins. Again, going back to the duck skins, they're almost like brittle crisps. You can see what I've done, I've already sprinkled some salt on the top, and you can see almost like a crisp when you tap it. But when you eat those, trust me, they're gorgeous. Time is over with sous vide. I've just taken all the packs out of the saucepan. We've got the 2 mushrooms there. We've got the 1 mushroom with chilies, and pièce de résistance, the 2 duck breasts. So what I'm going to do now is to open those up and see what they look like and see what they taste like. You can probably see there's a lot of juice has been expressed from the duck breasts. You see the duck breasts are still pretty pink, although they cook right through, 60 degrees C. Mushrooms look a bit wrinkly, but they're cooked through. I've just tried before this video the chilies, and they're still quite firm, so they really haven't cooked through. Perhaps a higher temperature is required. So the noise in the background is some streaky bacon, smoked streaky bacon, smoked streaky bacon cooker. That's going to be part of my roll, as is this gorgeous cooked garlic. So you see I've roasted the garlic, I've got the lemons and limes there. What I'm going to do now is going to squeeze all the garlic out into the white bowl and add some of the marmalade like juice from the lemon and limes.